Hello and you're very welcome to this, our fourth video in our series on market failure for IB economics. And in this video we're going to look at what the idea of marginal social benefit and marginal social costs are. And we're also going to look at the difference between production and consumption externalities as well. And producing at the social optimum point. So, what are marginal social benefits and costs? Well, we already know that marginal private benefits are demand and marginal private costs are supply, that they're on the same curve as the supply and demand curve. Using this information, we can find out what the market equilibrium is, i.e. what the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity is. And that reflects what we call a social optimum, where there's allocative efficiency. In other words, where we've social surplus is optimized, where we've maximized our consumer surplus and our social surplus, and basically in the simplistic of ways, where our equilibrium price is equal to our equilibrium quantity, where supply and demand are in equilibrium. However, if there's externalities involved, then there is more than just the individual involved. We now have society involved as well, so that's going to change things a bit. We have therefore marginal social benefits and marginal social costs as well. And up until now, we've just been looking at the individual firm, or as in the producer, and the individual consumer. Now we have all of society to take into account as well. So, what do we think marginal social benefits are? Does anyone remember what the word marginal is in economics? Yep, it's extra. So the extra benefits to social, when we talk about social, we're talking about society. So it refers to the benefits to society from one additional unit of good is consumed. And then marginal social costs, well, kind of similar to what we said with marginal private costs, except private was the individual, whereas social refers to society, refers to everyone. So it refers to the cost of society from producing one more unit of a good. So, now that we've got marginal social benefits and costs, our socially optimum point or allocative efficiency point or equilibrium point no longer exists. Social benefits are shown on a diagram as an MSB, or marginal social benefit curve, representing all of the benefits to society, whereas social costs are shown with a marginal social cost curve, and they represent all the costs to society. So, let's break this down into diagrams. When we have marginal social benefits equal marginal social costs, there is a social optimum and allocative efficiency is realised. But this only happens when we've no externalities. So in other words, as shown in the diagram, if we have no externalities, well then the social cost is the same as the private cost. So in the diagram there you can see our supply curve is equal to our marginal private cost, which is, if there's no externalities, the same as the marginal social cost, which will be the same with demand from the consumption point of view. Our marginal private benefits equal to our demand curve, which, if there's no externalities involved, is equal to our marginal social benefit curve. Therefore, we have what's written there is demand equals MPB equals MSB, and S equals MPC and MSC. So, in other words, we can say MPC equals MSC equals MPB equals MSB. There's an awful lot of letters for you all thrown together. If you want to pause the video and just take a moment to reflect and make sure you understand all that, go on ahead. But we're going to play on the video. So when there's an externality, the free market comes to an outcome where marginal private benefit equals marginal private costs, but marginal social benefits is not equal to marginal social costs. So what we're saying here is basically, whilst our private benefit and private costs might equal to each other, our social benefits and social costs will not be equal to each other. Now we're going to learn about 4 different types of externalities on this course. We've got negative production and negative consumption externalities, and positive consumption and negative consumption externalities. Sorry, I've written that wrong. We should have negative production and negative what way I've written this. Negative production and consumption externalities, and positive production and positive consumption externalities. My bad there. So, we need to figure out what production and consumption externalities are. So, we've learned in the last video what externalities are, and if you're not sure, have a look back at that video now. So, what do we mean by production externalities, do you think? Well, yes, of course, production externalities refer to unintended side effects to a third party from an industrial operation. When we say industrial operation, we talk about the production of a good, okay? Hence why it's the production of externalities. Consumption externalities refer to externalities involved in consuming a good. So it refers to the unintended side effect to a third party when they are consuming a good. When we're going through each of these in each of the next videos, remember that all negative externalities create external costs. They create extra costs outside of that that are actually involved in producing the good or consuming the good. When there are external costs, marginal social costs are going to be greater than marginal social benefits, because if there's extra costs involved, then the costs of society are greater than the benefits of society. All positive externalities create external benefits. So if there are extra benefits, then our social benefits are going to outweigh or be greater than our social costs. All production externalities created a difference between private costs and social costs. And all consumption externalities create a difference between private and social benefits. So this video was a nice brief introduction to the concept of marginal social benefit and marginal social costs. So you should have a good understanding of what the two of them are and the difference between production and consumption externalities. So in future videos, we're going to now delve into each of those into more detail. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, why not give the video a like? If you didn't like it, don't dislike it, just don't watch the next videos. And if you're enjoying all these wonderful videos, why not subscribe to the channel? If you're this far into the series now, you may as well subscribe to the channel, because why not? Thanks very much for watching, folks. See you in the next video. Bye now.